Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Choose UCalgary podcast. For all of our new listeners here, I just want to welcome you and say thank you for joining us today. My name is Aidyn, and I am the host for the Choose UCalgary podcast. I am a current student here at the University of Calgary, and I am in the Haskayne School of Business Cooperative Education Program. I'm working as a digital student recruitment ambassador at the University of Calgary on the recruitment team. And yeah, as most of you know, or maybe some of you might not know, June is Pride Month, and we recognize and celebrate the impact of the LGBTQ+ community. So I'm really excited to be joined here today with Grace, who is from Queers on Campus, and Alex and Sabrina, who are from the Business Pride Club here at the University of Calgary. So they are just going to be talking about their clubs and their experience with being involved in the Pride community at UCalgary, their experience just at the University of Calgary in general. And yeah, I'm very excited. So on that note, welcome everyone, and thank you for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Awesome. So would each of you be able to introduce yourselves a little bit more? Maybe we can start with Alex.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex. I am majoring in electrical engineering, and I have a minor in business. I'm really interested in business and STEM. That's kind of what encouraged me to join BPC, especially with their well-rounded mission of just inclusivity in the business environment, which I really like. Oh, and I'm going into third year.
Hi, everybody. I'm Grace. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a recently graduated computer science and sociology student. I'm working this summer on social media and how we can change social media to be more of a community building effort instead of just a platform to show off your personal accomplishments. And I'm also co-chair of the Queers on Campus Club, which is our version of, we don't have a president, we just have two co-chairs.
My name is Sabrina. I'm a third-year business student here at the Haskayne School of Business. I'm majoring in HR and completing a certificate in leadership studies. I'm going into my fourth year. I guess me in a nutshell, I have been extremely involved in Haskayne since my very first year. So I guess we can talk about it a bit more in the podcast, but such a big advocate for being involved. I have created opportunities for myself by just being involved in clubs, taking leadership positions, which brings me to, I am the president of the Business Pride Club, where we try to foster diversity and inclusion for everyone in the community. So really happy to be here, and hopefully our insights today can help you decide if UCalgary is the choice for you.
Perfect. That sounds really awesome. So what, I guess, made you guys interested in coming to the University of Calgary, and what would you say was the deciding factor? Why did you choose to come here?
I guess for me, I live in Calgary, so it just made sense. And they have a really good engineering school, and that's where I was leaning towards. So I know they have tons of clubs, and I just thought being at home, it might be easier to get involved in all these clubs. And, I have more flexibility to choose different minors if it doesn't work out, choose different majors if it doesn't work out. But yeah, other than that, so far I'm enjoying it.
I would say a similar thing. I grew up here. My sister also went to the UCalgary. So then my first year we carpooled together, and that was really fun. So that was definitely a reason. And then it was nice to be able to live at home and commute in and out and etc.
I guess for me, I have a completely different reason. I moved countries. So I am an international student from India. And so I know as an international student, firstly, you don't get to have that convenience of coming to campus and seeing, what the infrastructure is. So all you rely on is the internet. So, when you're doing your research, the reason I chose UCalgary was because I knew my personality and I knew wherever I wanted to go, I wanted to make a difference. And, you consider cities like Toronto, Vancouver, which are massive, but then you have to ask yourself, where can I shine, or where will I be able to have an impact but also be recognized? And I knew I wanted a big school, but not a too big where I'm lost. And I think UCalgary was the perfect mix of being in a medium-sized city, but also being able to access the same opportunities as you would in a bigger school. And also at the same time, I think, it is one of the most sunniest cities in Calgary. And I, as an international student who did not know how the weather worked in Canada, I thought sunny equates to warm. And I was like, OMG, yes, why would I not choose Calgary? Little do they tell you, it's one of the coldest cities. But no, apart from the weather and apart from, the size of it, UCalgary also offers a tons of scholarships. which I found was really advantageous, especially as an international student. And also, I think, we have such a great program. And I think if you're someone who wants to make the most of the experience, well, then I think UCalgary is a fit for you. Wow, I'm just like, sorry, I went off there, but hopefully that can help someone.
One year I was like an international student mentor. So I had like a mentee student who was a first year, and she was from somewhere in Africa, and she showed me her wardrobe. We had to go out and get new winter clothes because nothing that she had was good enough.
Yeah, pro tip, if you're coming from another country, make sure you pack warm. We are very sunny, but our winters can get very cold. So just a fair warning, but it's worth it because we have the mountains and skiing and just outdoor activities, skating, all that jazz makes it really worth it and fun.
And hey, my sister who goes to another university, not going to say any names, compared to other universities, we actually have one of the best meal plans, like the resident services. And as someone who lived on residence for, more than 2 years, our quality is much higher compared to other universities. So that's a selling point.
Yeah, I'm such a foodie, so that would definitely be one of my main deciding factors as well. Thank you guys for all of that. That's great. I guess now we can kind of just transition into your guys' clubs a bit if you want. So would each of you be able to tell me about the clubs that you're involved with and what they do?
So Queers on Campus is, I would say, like our sort of main LGBT plus student organization on campus. It's been around in some form, we're pretty sure, since like the 80s, but it's a bit hard to say because the records get like very fuzzy, but it was around in like some underground fashion for a long time before it became like an official club. You can't see me doing air quotes. And basically, we focus on advocacy and student community. We host a lot of events. We try to bring people together. And then we also are involved in a lot of different advocacy actions with the university administration. Last year, we had a flag raising ceremony for Trans Day of Remembrance. So yeah, we are just here to like provide support. Also, the Q Center came around from a lot of advocacy through our club. That was more than 10 years ago, so I wasn't here, but that also was a lot of our club advocacy. Anyone is welcome. We're happy to take anyone, and everyone is supportive and there for each other.
Who is the Business Pride Club? We are a diversity and inclusion club, similar to the other club here, where we want to include people who are part of the community and people of color and basically everyone. But we are more than just connecting people of the LGBT community together. It's not just a social space, but it's also a professional development space. The reason the Business Pride Club is different from any other club is because we find organizations, we find multinational, local organizations in Calgary, Canada, and we connect them, those professionals, with students. Because I think, when I started out in this club, I didn't even realize the amount of companies out there who want to tell students that, hey, you can be yourself here. Because obviously BPC offers a space where you can bring your authentic self to school. But what makes us also different is the fact that we hold very ambitious events. So last year, we actually hosted the first ever National Pride in Business conference that brought together Pride communities from different schools from around Canada. It was never done before. We had a vision. We made that come to life. We had over 100 students in attendance, and we've had over 13 corporate sponsors. And also, our entire premise is to change the connotation around LGBT. It's not just about rainbows and colored hair. It's about including everyone so they feel empowered just to be themselves.
Sometimes it's still about rainbows and colored hair.
Yeah,
that's good too.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, I'm involved in, I guess over the pandemic, I was really like just trying to keep myself busy. I'm in YYCAR movement. It's the anti-racist club. I do some marketing for them. And then I recently joined Pangea. I'm VP External, which helps immigrants and refugees transition to Calgary or Canada. And then, of course, like Aidyn mentioned, I am part of BPC. I am Director of Communications. I've been with BPC for a year and it's been really awesome. I mean, I love working under Sabrina. She's an amazing president. And I think what we have accomplished over this year has been really amazing to connect the professional arena with pride individuals, queer individuals, and not separate the two. Like how important that is lately and how more accepting, I guess, the corporate world has become to create those relationships, I think is super important.
I guess just quickly adding to that as well, I think we need to remember that, getting involved does not just mean I'm part of the social network. I do something. It's about you get access to so many opportunities, especially when you're in university. The next thing you're thinking about is getting a job. And employers love when you're passionate about something. So when they see that you are an advocate for a cause, they want employees like that. They want employees with big visions and passion.
It's also really important, like I feel like this year, especially just to have those nexuses of connection with people, because it was so hard. So I think it was also really important just to be creating those like spaces where people were still talking to one another. That was one of our big goals, was just trying to like maintain momentum and like something for people to do. We started a club Discord this year, which was new for us, and that was really successful, and it just gave people like places to talk to each other. And then we held something like 15 events or something. So I hope that helped for someone. I hope there was, someone out there who felt like they'd made a friend digitally.
No, I'm sure. I guess just, creating a space is everything that's needed for someone to know, okay, like at least I can go here. So, good for you guys for doing that in a pandemic.
Well, yeah, because that's part of the importance of like what the Q Center does is like a physical space. It's like you can always just go sit in there, and it's such a like nice welcoming space. There's always like someone hanging out and someone to chat with. Their peer support is really great.
I think it's really all about creating that community, and it's so important to have each other's backs. So I think what BPC does is just really create that safe space. Just in general, like I don't think any of the clubs I listed have anything to do with engineering, but I love being part of a community and like, common interests and just like making change together.
There's a women in computer science club now that's pretty new. I'm so excited that like there are other students now who will have that space for them, because that would have been so amazing if I'd had that when I was starting out, so it's stuff like that.
I actually came across the Women in Computer Science Instagram a couple of days ago, and it looks so nice, and just I just want to be a part of it so bad.
They're so professional, and I'm like, I don't know how you do this. The thing about QOC is like our number one goal is to be like really inclusive, and I think we're very casual, and I think that's really great, because it just means like if you want to help, come help. Like if you want to be a volunteer, come be a volunteer. A lot of clubs are like really competitive or have like really strict hierarchies and stuff, and we're just like, do you want to come do something? That's awesome. We will take anyone and everyone and be happy with whatever it is that you can provide.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having over 300 clubs at our school, is that there's really something for everyone. Like there's so many different kinds of clubs with, like you said, different involvement levels, different sort of positions, and it's just a way for everyone to all come together, because at the end of the day, we're all just students and we should all be there for each other. And I think it's a great way for just everyone to be included, which is what your guys' clubs are trying to promote, is inclusivity. So, but maybe if you guys could expand on your roles a bit more in the club and what kind of got you interested in applying for that role. And I guess if future students were interested in applying for your club, what are the kind of different roles that they could look into?
So currently I'm co-chair. We have a sort of more like flat leadership model. Our club has kind of evolved beyond what the leadership model looks like right now, so we're sort of restructuring a little bit. But I was also VP events this year, so I was in charge of deciding what we did for all of our events and organizing them. Our club is open to anyone. If you want to be an exec, let us know and we'll find a place for you. Like whatever your sort of availability level is, whatever your ability threshold is, like we can always find a space for people who want to help and want to be involved.
But yeah, for the Business Pride Club, I am the president, and as the president, one of my responsibilities is obviously I have a team of VPs and directors under me, and I'm just, the leadership, being in charge of sponsorship. That is one of my favorite things to do. But one of my most prominent roles in BPC is raising money for a club, and that involves me communicating with stakeholders. So a lot of has been, talking to these professionals, communicating our event ideas and our plans to them, and then them deciding if they want to send the reps to our events. But But I think the greatest part about clubs is there's so many different positions you could hold. And the things you do in the club is almost like a work experience. Even though you're doing it for a school and a club, it essentially is work. And people are quite impressed because they can see your skill sets through these accomplishments. Things you do are valuable, transferable skill sets that employers will love to hear about. And in terms of BPC, though it is a Haskell club, we are open to every student from the UCalgary community. You don't have to be in business to be part of a club. I mean, Alex is from engineering and she is supporting us. I think, a professional network, just a community is for everyone. We are really friendly. Go wherever you feel comfortable and you feel welcome, because in the end, it's your experience. Everyone's career journey is so different. Yeah, I think that's something you need to remember. Oh my, I sound like a mom right now. I'm sorry. I just love
No, that's
let all your doors be open.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like, even especially going out of high school, like everyone's looking at what are their friends doing? What are my friends applying for? What programs are my friends interested in? What school are my friends applying for? At the end of the day, you need to do what you're actually passionate about and what you're interested in and where you know that you're going to succeed, or maybe you want to challenge yourself. Maybe you're interested in something and you want to get better at it. Just do what you know will make you happy at the end of the day and where you know there's opportunity for you. Don't just follow the crowd.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, like I started out in math and then I switched to computer science, and then I ended up switching to computer science and sociology because I liked it so much. And those are things that like I never would have imagined that was where I was going to end up. I thought I wanted to be a teacher. Don't make a plan and then be like, oh, well, I could never possibly deviate from my plan. Like you never know what might end up happening and you never know how things might change.
Especially as a first year, say yes to opportunities. Everyone's nodding here. I know you can't see us. Everyone's nodding here. Like you don't know what you're good at or what you don't like if you never put yourself out there.
You have no idea the person you might end up being at the end, and not to sound like a slogan from like a cheesy movie, but you will never find out like what you actually enjoy until you go try a bunch of stuff. To bring it back around to like Pride Month, it's the same with like trying to find other LGBT people and like finding like queer networks and finding those people and letting yourself spend time with those people is really eye-opening. And I think that is the other most important thing about these clubs and like these communities that are created for you, because you learn so much about yourself from like other queer people.
Yeah, and just to speak to what Grace mentioned, not to be cheesy, but it really is the journey, not the destination. I think definitely just try to get out of your comfort zone. But as far as my position, I'm director of communications, which I was kind of confused between marketing. I've never been in a position like this for a club. So I was like, I don't know what they all mean. So I did communications, which that was a really strong way for us to connect to the community during the pandemic is social media. So I thought that was a fun role.
If looking for a friend, like go join a club. Like when I was on my semester abroad, that was how I was like, I'm here, I don't know anyone, I need to make some friends. Let me go find some clubs who are hosting teas or whatever, and I'll just go and like sit with people until somebody wants to be my friend. And basically that's what it is. Like just go to stuff and talk to people. And it's nice to have like a diverse friend group in terms of interests.
For sure. And I think your guys' clubs are a great way to do that as well, because it's seriously for everyone and anyone can join, and you're going to be able to create those bonds with people who you probably wouldn't have been able to meet outside of your faculty. But yeah, so Grace, I know you touched a little bit on the Q Center and your experience with that. Maybe could you just expand a little bit on kind of what they do?
The Q Center is a space, like a physical room in Mac Hall. It's run by the Students' Union, and it basically is a space for queer students, but also anybody, and you can go hang out. There are like couches in there. There's a microwave in there. If there's ever like a really big line at the microwave in Mac Hall, like there's a secret microwave in the Q Center, and there's never a line for that one. And they also have volunteers who have been trained in peer support. And if you are having a problem, you can go in and talk to them. You can talk to like a bunch of people, or you can ask for a one-on-one session, if you have like something private that you'd really like to talk about. And it's just a really great space. I've always found it like really welcoming and really open. They also host events and they host like panels and like talking teas and stuff like that. But yeah, generally speaking, its purpose is just to be there and to be a space where you can go.
What you mentioned about the microwaves, I am always on the hunt for a microwave without a line. I can never find one. Mac Hall, ICT, such a long line. So gonna keep that in mind. Anyone who's listening, it's a secret. Are you interested in learning more information about the Q Center here at UCalgary? Be sure to check out our latest blog post up on the Stories and Tips for Future Students page of the University of Calgary undergraduate website. Click the link in the episode notes to give it a quick read.
That space really sounds like a good vibe.
It's so nice. I feel like so many people like don't understand what it is, or they get intimidated by like all the like rainbows and stuff, but it's like really everyone in there is so nice and it's just there for everybody.
Thanks for explaining that. So if you guys wanted to give any advice or just one last tip to any students who identify as LGBTQ+ or who are interested in attending the University of Calgary or even just looking for ways to get involved with the community, what would you want to tell them?
Don't put this pressure on yourself that you have to figure everything out on your first week in school. You don't have to think, why haven't I registered for 100 different clubs in my first week and have my classes scheduled and have friends and have, just breathe one day at a time and really just look up stuff. Like go to the UCalgary website, see, like I remember once I spent 2 hours because I would go from one link to the other and I was shocked with how much resources and support was available on campus. And many students don't even know about it because they never took the time to just go to the main website and then go to different links to see what we have. Like, we have a career center, we have a mental health support, we have a space for LGBT people, we have financial help, we have educational help. I think there's just so much. Yeah, just come out of your comfort zone and talk to someone. University is what you make of it, and these are the best days. One tip someone really once told me, which really helped me, was if you are nervous to do something or talk to someone, remember the other person's feeling the same way. So if you make the first move, the other person's going to love you forever. Like reach out to any one of us. Just, reach out to older students. I'm sure there'll be lots of people to help you on this journey.
Going into university, you're there to learn, grow, figure things out. You make your decisions, you're the creator of your own journey. And it kind of just comes slowly. And you just kind of start realizing that.
Well, I would say the same thing about your journey as a queer person. A lot of those things are the same. Your own journey to like wherever you end up happy is your own and no one else's. And university, especially for a lot of people, is when you really start like exploring all those different things or, start changing the way you think about yourself. It's an infinite spectrum. But now is like the time for you to explore those things and don't feel like, oh, well, these other people are like already so confident in themselves and like so confident in their labels and I must be behind or something. Like it's not a race.
You couldn't have tied it back together well.
Yeah, I was just going to say that was so beautifully said.
Woo!
Yeah, it's all about knowing who you are. I still don't know who I am. So I think just realizing that person probably doesn't know either.
Yeah, well, and like some people know and some people don't know, but neither of those are wrong. It's about like what is working for you and what you're figuring out as you go along.
Exactly. Like everyone's journey in life is different, whether that be university or even just how you identify or just your life, your friends. Like don't compare yourself to anyone. Yeah. And I guess one last thing, I'm going to give you guys the chance to promote yourselves and whatnot. So if any prospective students have any questions for your clubs or want to learn more, get involved with your clubs, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you or contact you?
So you can find us anywhere on the internet at Queers on Campus, or our email address is qcampuscalgary@gmail.com. But also if you go to our Instagram, our email address is listed on the Instagram.
Likewise for us, we are always looking for people. So you can find us, we do have a newly made website. It's called the Business Pride Club. It's a Wix website. You should be able to find us, or, go to our Instagram. Our email's always there. Just shoot us a message and feel free to reach out to us as well. We are always happy to mentor and guide you, and hopefully that helps.
I will be sure to leave everything linked in the episode notes so that our listeners can just easily click away and find you guys within a click of one button. Isn't that so cool?
Ooh, internet.
I know, right? Awesome. Okay, well, that pretty much wraps it up for today. So I just want to thank you so much again for being guests on the podcast today. I really, really enjoyed having you on.
This was very fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really happy to be here, and thanks for creating this space.
Yeah, it's really not every day you can talk about pride and university and just life at the same time. So it was just an honor to be here. Thank you, Aidyn, for organizing this. You've done a great job.
Thank you again for being guests on the podcast today. I really, really loved learning more about pride here at UCalgary, and it was awesome to hear about all of your experiences just at the University of Calgary in general and just in life. I just want to give an extra special thanks to all of our listeners as well for tuning in today. If you're interested in learning more information about anything we chatted about, like I said, I'll have everything linked in the episode notes, so be sure to check that out. If you have any questions for me, as always, you can just reach out to me by DMing me on the choose.ucalgary Instagram, or you can message the University of Calgary Future Students Facebook page, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions on there. So I will link that below as well. Once again, thank you so much, and we will see you soon in our next episode.
Happy Pride Month!
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month, yeah.